I'm all dressed up because I just got back from the Addison Rae show, which I'll be talking about tomorrow. Blew me away, okay? But I have something to say about this comment. So this person said if she and her team were a quarter as smart as they think they are, she would have disappeared after the Eras tour for 2 to 3 years. That was a career zenith, but she can't read a room and created her own problems by refusing to leave us alone for 2 to 3 years. Listen, I 100,000, I could not agree with this statement more, honestly, but I have a thought about why she did not leave us alone. Because here's the thing, Taylor Swift has been famous for a long time. And not only has she been famous for a long time, she's also been burned before by being overexposed. By being overexposed. So she knows what happens when you get overexposed. So if she's intentionally overexposing herself, it has to be an act of self-sabotage. And what this video is about is why I think where that self-sabotage stems from. Because she knows better, girl. She does. She knows better. I literally think that okay, like I think that when she was with Joe, like she kind of had told herself, because he wasn't really about being in like the spotlight and doing like pap walks and all that kind of stuff, like that is what she liked, and that she would say that she really acted as if she really wanted a private life. And an important point is that you have to remember that she had just been canceled, right? Like she had just gone through Snakegate and had all of literally America literally turn on her. Like even a lot of the Swifties like went quiet. Like everybody believed Kim at the time completely unanimously because she had really been pissing people off for 2 years straight. She had zero benefit of the doubt left, okay? So she had just, you have to understand, like the idea that she hates the spotlight and Joe was keeping her in the house is a fallacy, because she, when she met Joe, was hiding from the spotlight because she had just gotten the shit burned out of her for it. She just gotten burned by it harder than I honestly in my lifetime. Besides like the people who like ended up in jail after Me Too, like besides the people who are in prison, harder than anybody who did not end up in prison has been burned by the spotlight. Okay, I'm serious. Or who didn't like commit a literal crime. Literally. Taylor Swift's cancellation is one of the most vivid things that happened in pop culture in my mind. That's why I remember it in detail. Guys, I didn't have to look that stuff up. It's burned in my memory. But I think once that her relationship with Joe failed, she wanted to reject every single thing about him, right? Everything about him. In fact, like I remember in her Time magazine article, she was even talking about, oh my God, now thank God I'm no longer being like kept in a cage. But like when she was actually doing it, like willfully, she didn't feel it was a cage. She was happy with it. It was like she expressed that she was okay with it. You know what I mean? But it was just a way of shifting the narrative. It was just a way of shifting the narrative and making it seem like Joe was a bad guy that he probably never was. What I really think it is on a psychological level, I think that what drove her not to actually do the self-sabotaging thing that would damage her zenith by not leaving us alone is because of this desperation to make this rejection of like the Joe persona that she had taken on, which is somebody who doesn't crave the spotlight and who isn't constantly pursuing fame and wants to have sweet nothings, okay? And is that she's like rejected it for like the Bejeweled life, right? Basically, which like the Eras tour is like very much like the height of the Bejeweled life, right? So she has this need to make that thing valid. Editing me, just to clarify, by that thing, I mean the idea that Joe was trapping her and keeping her away from fame and didn't want her to reach the heights in her career that she ended up reaching with the Eras tour, which is likely a false rationalization of why that relationship ended. I don't think that's why that relationship ended. I have theories that I'll reveal at a later time, but I do not think that that's what happened. But I think that that's what she has told herself has happened. That's what I mean by that thing, okay? To make that thing real, to make that feeling true, because it means that Joe was at fault for the failure of their relationship because he was holding her back from her career. When I don't know if that's true, or I don't know if that's the case, because he always knew that he was dating Taylor Swift. In fact, he's the person who was behind making her realize her full potential as a writer and an artist. So I don't think that that's true. I just don't. I just don't think he was about the fame life, though. He was about like the naked pursuit of fame for the sake of fame, like she's doing now, where she's constantly in her face, constantly in the spotlight, constantly everywhere, constantly in the football games, constantly all like Eras tour content, constantly in the press. Like she just won't leave us alone. And then she's doing all these variants, 85 variants. Like, she's not well, girl. She's not well. No well person does that many variants, okay? She is fixated on remaining in the spotlight as long as possible, because by the glare of the spotlight allows her to reject the fact that maybe the failure of, like, what I see is probably like a soulmate relationship, what might have been her fault. It might have been her. You know what I mean? I don't think that she's over it. And I literally think her need to stay, her fixation, this is just a theory though, I don't know the girl obviously, but this is just my perception. It's just my thought as somebody who like thinks about psychology. I think the need to reject the perception or the idea that maybe the spotlight isn't good for her is like associated with Joe, and she has a need to contradict it, and also a need to drown out all of the feelings from Maddie, from Joe, from her other unhealed relationship wounds, and the questions she might have about her current relationship now, and the questions about like who she is as a person, or any of this like self-doubt or self-hate. Like, she has this need to drown it out with the spotlight, and when things get quiet, they get too quiet, so she always has to come back. It's an addiction. It just occurred to me as I was saying this that this also explains why she's been so mad at the Swifties. It's displaced anger. This is whoa it's displaced anger, guys. It has to be someone else's fault. It has to be the fault of the Swifties. It has to be Joe's fault for keeping her out of the spotlight, because it can't be her fault for maybe giving too much of herself to fame, or her fault for overexposing her life, or her fault and developing a parasocial relationship with her fan, or her fault for running away from a relationship when there was like hardship there that maybe she wasn't ready to deal with. Damn, the more I think about it, the more sad it actually feels. Girl, I hope I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Fame is a disease, baby. Fame is a disease. Or as Ray saying tonight, fame is a gun. But yeah, anyway, that's my thought on this. So it's like, listen, the thing about Taylor is that this girl, like, I have talked about how much I like feel angry and upset with her, but like, she is an endlessly fascinating psychological subject for somebody who is interested in human psychology. This is the gift that keeps on giving, girl. There's always another angle, and it's always incredibly fascinating from like a psychoanalytic standpoint. It just is. Anyway, that's all. Bye. Also, I'm not her therapist. I'm not a therapist, and I'm not her therapist, okay? I'm not seeing clients yet. I am nobody's therapist, girl. I'm just a girl talking about things on the internet, okay? That's it.